You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out about your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences, and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Welcome, Single Smart Female, to show 38. I'm your host, Jen, and I am joined by the oh-so-lovely, the oh-so-talented, and the practically perfect in every way co-host, Miss Steph.
Practically perfect in every way. I love it. Not true, but I love it.
We'll go with it anyways. And today, Steph is going to do the honor of reading us our brand new question from Miss Relocate and Subsequent Heartbreak.
Okay. Miss Relocate and Subsequent Heartbreak writes, I just got out of a relationship with a guy I'd been dating for about a year. Some background, we met and became close friends first. I had no romantic interest in him, and he made no attempts to turn our relationship into more than friendship despite his interest in me. After about 7 months of friendship, my feelings changed and we began dating exclusively right away. We both fell hard. Things were amazing, and for the first time in my unlucky love life, I felt that I'd found my forever partner. After less than 5 months of dating, he got a great job opportunity back in his home state. We discussed it and decided that even though we knew there would be challenges, we would give long distance thing a try. About 1 month into long distance, he broke up with me, seemingly out of the blue. I was stunned and heartbroken and left with very little explanation. All in all, it seemed that the difficulties were just too much for him to handle, and he wasn't willing to try and make it work. Fast forward about 2 months. We'd remained in contact very minimally during this time, but now he's reaching out saying he made a huge mistake. He's given it a lot of thought, and he wants me to consider taking him back and giving us a real shot. Though hesitant at first, after much conversation, I decided to give this man I love another try. Another 5 months of bliss ensued, and when my lease was up, we decided I would move to his state to be with him, and we would give the relationship our best shot like we'd originally planned. We'd only been living together for 3 months before he decided he wanted to call it quits again. Stating that he was unhappy, he thinks we're just too different and things just shouldn't be this hard. I wish I agreed with any of this. Now I'm here in another state, away from my friends and family, and left trying to sort out where to go from here. We're still living together and sharing a bed, but I have plans to move into my new apartment in 2 weeks. It's really hard to know if I should just give up on this guy altogether. I tend to see the best in people always, so I'm able to remain his friend, but I'm still hurt that he doesn't find me worth the struggles. I'm afraid staying friends will do more harm than good, but I can't imagine not having him in my life. I really need your help. And a little bit of extra information she'd like to share. That neither of us have experience with long-term serious relationships. I know I tend to get a little bit of tunnel vision when I find a guy I like and lose myself in it a little. But I'm afraid I've realized this too late and won't be able to apply it in time to fix this relationship. And I'm not even sure it's worth fixing, since he doesn't seem interested in mending it. Am I being completely stupid for wanting a man that clearly no longer wants me? I feel as though he cares more about himself than me, but I'm confused because it used to not seem that way at all. He was truly the most patient, thoughtful, mature man I'd ever dated. Now he is impatient, quick to anger, and completely unable to express his feelings. Now he just acts like a robot, completely incapable of empathy or love. I can't fathom how such a huge change can occur so quickly.
Okay, thank you, Miss Relocate and Subsequent Heartbreak, for bringing this question to us. Steph and I were really touched that you decided to come to us and ask. And first, I want to say I truly am sorry that you're having to go through this now. And yes, we are going to break some things down for you and answer some really important questions that you have. But I do want you to know that you and any woman out there that's going through such heartbreak, I'm sorry, it sucks so bad. It's not fun. No, you don't deserve it. But on the same page, I think there are some things that we can do and that we can talk about today that might be very, very helpful for you and your situation. With that said, I empathize. I remember a few years back when my husband checked out on me. And what I want you to know right now is your boyfriend, what he essentially has done is checked out on you. And that's because since he's checked out of the relationship, he's becoming indifferent towards you and frustrated because you're still in the same space with him. And it's only due to the fact that he is mentally checked out. It's not truly a reflection of how he feels because there's a huge layer covering that right now that's not letting him access those feelings. And so there's a lot of frustration involved. With that said, no, you're not stupid for wanting a man that's not reciprocating the same feelings as you right now. And you don't need to kick yourself when you're already down about something that's in itself a very, very painful situation. So there are many, many pieces of this that we can address. And I'm sitting here thinking, where do we even start with this? Because there's so many different pieces. And I want to tell you first off, and because I don't want to make this the most important part, I want to go ahead and set this out of the way. Do I believe whether or not you can get his interest again and get him back? Yes, 100%. From everything that you've told me, you were exactly in the same situation I was with my husband. And I used all the techniques that I teach, that Steph and I teach, and make him want you again, and had him running back in about, I think it was about a month was the time frame. So yes, I 100% believe that you can do that. And if that's truly what you want, I suggest you check out my class. Now, with that said, I'm not sure you should. If you want to, you should, go ahead and do that. But what we need to really dive into here is whether or not you should, whether or not you really truly want to. And because the should is based on whether or not you want to. It's not based on what I want for you. It's not based on what Steph wants for you. It's based on what you really want. And one of the things I talk about in my free How to Get Him Back cheat sheet is the oh fuck factor of when somebody leaves us, splits with us, breaks up with us. And you've got to determine now, are you freaking out? Because we women naturally freak out when somebody who has wanted us and we've allowed that into our lives and we've gotten very comfortable and love that part of them. We women thrive in being desired. And when a man shuts that off from you and takes that away, there's an oh fuck factor involved, meaning we lose our shit. We do. And we're going to try to figure out, how do I make this work again? And we feel incomplete. Not that we should, but it's just kind of a natural reaction. We feel incomplete. We feel insufficient. We feel, our insecurities overwhelm us. And then he starts to consume all of our thoughts.
And it's not always having to do with him and how much you care for him, and more about having that attention from him. You kind of have to step back and discern, am I having this panic because...
Is this about the oh fuck factor, or is this about...
is it real? Is it about him? Is it about you together?
Exactly. So that's one of the things that you need to start considering that. And it sounds like you are considering all of that and you're kind of wavering back and forth. Now, the other big thing is that I know two things about breakups. And there's two things I'm 100% certain about when it comes to breakups. Number one is that they're happening for one of two reasons. One, someone or something better is coming. Or number two, your relationship, because of the state it's in, has to be completely torn down in order to build it up to where you really want it to be. I don't know which category you're in this particular situation. I do know if you want him, I 100% believe you can make him want you again. But I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite convinced that you really want him. Then there's a big hovering factor in all this that you've revealed to Steph and me. And that is that you got up, you left state, left your friends, your family, all the important people in your life, everything that you know and love, to be with him. And now you're about to move into an apartment, which I'm assuming from what you said is still there. And I can only imagine how lonely in certain ways you must be feeling, how completely empty and devastated you must be feeling right now. And I'm not against women moving to be with men. I'm not at all. But I have a big concern of whether or not this is why this is happening. Like, the universe is helping you out, saying, hey, maybe this just isn't you. Maybe he's not your guy. Maybe this isn't your place. And maybe you need to reconsider all of that. And that's the bigger thing that needs to be addressed above, your feelings for him. Of course you care about him, but I'm wondering if this isn't happening because you're not where you really want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about that is, too, you had mentioned that sometimes you get tunnel vision. So imagine having your tunnel vision on this relationship with the one person that you know in a new place. You don't have your friends and family to distract you. You haven't yet built any sort of outside interest within this new home. That takes a toll on anybody, on any relationship. So that could be another big
contributing factor to everything. Exactly. So again, if this is about you guys rebuilding everything, you're going to have to consider making sure that you have your own life in place and that your interests and your things are being addressed, because a woman who just leans into a guy for her world, after a while, it's very likely men start to pull away, because the truth is that they don't need to be our world. They're a part of our world, and they're a very special part of our world. But you're more fascinating and more interesting as a woman over the long run, for a long-term romance, when you have your own life built up, your own interests. And obviously, you're smart as hell because you contacted us. So I have no doubt to your level of intelligence whatsoever. But I am concerned of whether or not, because you were talking about the tunnel vision and all that good stuff, that you are making your life exclusively about him, which is a recipe for things falling apart long term. Because there's a piece of you, whether you know this consciously or not, whether you've articulated this in your life, there's a piece of you that's always going to yearn for what's yours. So even if he doesn't pull away from you, at some point you'll start to become bitter and resentful because it's all about him.
Mm-hmm.
We, as adored women, have our own interests, our own life, our own love. We have lots of really, really special things that go on outside of the integrated relationship that we have with a man. And if we continuously neglect that in order to focus on a man, shit falls apart. And that's what, to me, sounds like is happening here. Shit is falling apart because you need to address this piece of you. Now, whether it means you going back to your original state to be with your family and friends, or whether it means you have to create another life there that makes you feel as special as you did with your family and friends, create a whole new network of friends, create new interests, whether you start to tap into your passions and explore who you are as a woman. But something's got to give, and it's on your end. I'm not so worried about him. Honestly, he doesn't sound like he'd be that difficult at all. But I don't want you to run back and just focus on that right now. I really want you to figure out why this is happening for you, because it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. It's actually happening for you, regardless of how fucked up it feels. And I totally concede that this is one of the most fucked up feelings in the world, but it's happening for a very important reason.
Today's episode is brought to you by Make Him Want You Again online class. If you would like to learn exactly what to do, say, or text to make yourself irresistible and unforgettable in his mind, meet us over at MakeHimWantYouAgain.com.
Okay, Lover Girl, it is segment 2 time, and we've decided to do a new segment today called Shit That Jen and Steph Talk About When They Are Not on the Mic. And the purpose of this segment is that we're going to tell you some of the off-the-wall stuff that we talk about when we're hanging out. So to understand us a little bit better, Steph and I are actually friends.
True.
Yeah. Most of the time, 99% of the time, except when Steph's mad at me, which happens sometimes, but it's not too frequent.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we have a pretty awesome relationship, and the chemistry that you hear between the two of us is supernatural. Neither one of us
Supernatural, like
supernatural.
Ghostly.
Oh, wait! Don't you know? Like, you've met one of those supernatural people.
Yeah. Ooh, the cute one. Oh, they're both cute.
Really?
Let me just say they are both cute. Yeah, but the one with the longer hair.
Do you know his name? Is it
I think
Jared?
it's Jared.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I have bartended his birthday party a couple times.
See, Will, my husband, is so jealous, and he that you have met him, and I'm like, I don't even.
Oh my God.
I've never watched Supernatural.
He's so cute and so nice. Like, I mean, to the point of hauling our equipment for us. And he's got kids, and his kids are cute, and his wife is adorable. And
He's
it
so
makes
cute,
me
you wanna
sad that he's
smack
got like a hot wife and kids, but it's okay.
Why wouldn't he have a hot wife and kids if he's that sweet?
I know, but I wanted to, maybe be the hot wife someday.
Anais.
Nin.
Oh, I can't even say his name. Aziz.
Aziz.
Yes.
Anais. See, it's funny though. You said Anais, and I came up with Nin. Neen.
Yeah.
Neen.
Anais Neen.
Yeah. Writes wonderful and also a little bit obscure erotica.
And it's more than just obscure. She writes some really, really
It's scandalous or like
very
provocative,
scandalous.
if you will.
She writes about her father, if I'm not mistaken.
It's possible. I haven't read all of them,
Yeah,
but some of her stories are a little bit, they're a little dark.
They're very dark. And if I'm not mistaken, she actually talks about having a relationship with her father, but I'd have to go research that because I have a very selective memory, and sometimes I block out weird things. Anyways, back to
sometimes. Yes, back to
the fact that we do have a legitimate friendship
Correct.
that we bring to the mic for you. We want to share with you some of the stuff that we talk about that doesn't necessarily have to include dating, but it does sometimes, and some of the funny stories that happen between the two of us as we come together to make this podcast called Single Smart Female. That's what it's called, right?
Single Smart Female. Yeah. Yes.
And Steph wanted to start a story.
Oh, this is so great, you guys. So like Jen had mentioned, we are legitimately friends outside of this podcast. So Jen and her 9-year-old came to visit me a little while back, and we had a girls' day. Actually, it was really fun. We went canoeing and just kind of, we went and had smoothies and just hung out just as girls. And then we went back to my place, and all three of us were sitting on the couch. And then we were playing on my Bumble.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Bumble
those
app.
My Bumble app, exactly.
Dating
for those
app.
of you who don't know, it's a dating app. And on Bumble, when you match, so when a guy swipes right on you and you swipe right on a guy, it pops up and it says boom, and your pictures pop up and bounce around together, right? So we're sitting here playing with Bumble with Jen's daughter sitting in the middle, and she's helping me pick the guys. And anytime we get a match, all three of us just pump our fists in the air and go boom. I hope that didn't hurt your ears. I'm like right up on the mic here. So fast forward to several weeks later, and I'm here visiting Jen and her daughter this morning.
She spent the night.
I spent the night, yes.
We had a sleepover. It was
exactly.
so cool.
We did. We even like slept in the same room and had girl talk and all kinds of stuff.
Until Jen passed out because Jen's getting old, as Steph liked to tell her. Like, as Steph mentioned.
I never said that.
She indirectly said it.
I
she
inferred
said
it.
Ladies.
I inferred it.
Yes, she called me old and said I go to bed at 7, which is not completely untrue.
So this morning we're getting her daughter ready for school, and I was talking about one of the gentlemen that I've been dating, and she goes, "Wait, who is this guy?" Her daughter. Is this one of the guys that you boomed? I was like,
and both Steph and I turned and looked at her at the same time with a horrified look on her face, not remembering anything about what had happened a while back with the dating app.
I'm like, please explain. Boomed? Did you say boomed? Not yet. I mean, it's on the list, but girl, you're 9. I didn't really say that.
We were both thinking it, and the horrified look on Steph's face was priceless. Is she calling me a whore? Is she telling me I'm loose?
Yeah, what is happening here? And then Jen made the enlightened realization.
No, I asked her. I had to ask her.
Oh, did you ask her?
Yes, because I didn't realize I was like, oh my goodness, I just made my friend really uncomfortable. Somehow I've orchestrated this. I know kids say the darndest things, but I know this is my fault somewhere, somehow. And I don't remember exactly how I asked her, but I did. And then she boomed how did she say it? Do you remember at that point?
Maybe like the pictures or something?
Yes, the pictures. And then it dawned on both of us at the same time. Oh, yeah. The dating app, not.
Yes. And yes, he is one of the guys that I boomed.
Hey, single smart female. It's time for the final thought on today's show.
Heartbreak is always an opportunity, regardless of how much it hurts. So, lover girl, take a deep breath and decide what is next for you.
This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in iTunes. And if you'd like to submit a question to us, come see us at singlesmartfemale.com. And if you just want to come play around and learn more about Mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.